Depression weakens the body and the soul. Dr. Alexis Carlyle, a Nobel laureate in medicine, said, "Working people who do not know how to deal with anxiety and stress are more prone than others to a premature death. Indeed, everything that takes place occurs according to a divine decree. A person must nevertheless take the necessary steps to avoid difficulties, and so Carlyle rightly points out that anxiety is one of the factors that led to the body being damaged. Depression, a cause of ulcers. You will not be afflicted by an ulcer by virtue of what you eat, but instead by virtue of what eats you." This is a quote taken from Dr. Joseph F. Montagno's book, The Problem of Nervousness. The renowned Arab poet Al-Mutanabbi said, "And stress informs obesity into scrawniness. It whitens the hair of the young man and makes him a mess." And according to Life magazine, ulcers rank 10th in the list of deadly diseases. Some other effects of depression. I recently read the translation of Dr. Edward Badulski's book, Stop Worrying and Seek Betterment. Here are some of the chapter titles from his book. What Anxiety Does to the Heart. High blood pressure feeds off of anxiety. Anxiety may be the cause of some forms of rheumatism. As a favor to your insides, seek to decrease the level of your anxiety. How anxiety can be considered a cause of the common cold. Anxiety and the thyroid gland. The victim of diabetes and anxiety. Dr. Carl Manninger, a specialist in psychology, wrote a book called Man Against Himself. In it, he says, Dr. Manninger will not give you the principles of how to avoid anxiety, but instead he will give you an astonishing report on how we destroyed our own body and minds through anxiety and nervousness, malice and rancor, fear and feelings of revenge. And those who pardon men, verily, Allah loves the good doer. Among the more salient lessons that we should learn from this verse is that we should have a sound heart, peace of mind, calm nerves, and a feeling of happiness. The French philosopher Montaigne once said, "I wish to help you in dealing with your problems with my hands, but not with my liver and lungs." What depression and anger do. Dr. Russell Cecil of Cornell University mentioned 4 widespread causes of arthritis. 1. Marital strife. 2. Financial difficulties and depression. 3. Loneliness and anxiety. 4. Malice and rancor. Dr. William Mark Gongil, while addressing the Federation of American Dentists, remarked, "Unhappy feelings like anxiety and fear possibly affect the distribution of calcium in the body, and in consequence can lead to tooth decay. Bear your hardships with serenity." Dale Carnegie said, "African Americans that live in the South, along with the Chinese, rarely fall prey to those heart diseases that result from anxiety. This can be attributed to the serene and casual way in which they live their lives." He also said, "The number of Americans that make suicide attempts is greater than the number of those who die as a result of the 5 most deadly diseases combined." This is a startling statistic that should not be taken lightly. Hold a good opinion of your Lord. William James said, "God forgives us our sins, but our nervous systems do not." Ibn al-Wazir wrote in his book Al-Awasim wa al-Kawasim, "Verily, to be hopeful of Allah's mercy opens the doors of optimism for one of his slaves, making him more avid in worship, and inspiring him to be more enthusiastic in performing voluntary acts of worship and racing to perform good deeds." This is true especially because some people are not moved to do good deeds, except when they recall Allah's mercy, forgiveness, and generosity. As a consequence of reflecting on these qualities, they seek closeness to Allah through diligently performing good deeds. When your thoughts wander. Thomas Edison said, "There is no subterfuge that one may resort to in order to flee from his thoughts." One can confirm the accuracy of this statement from experience, for even when reading or writing, one is constantly diverted by inappropriate thoughts. One of the best means of controlling such thoughts is to work at something that is at once interesting and useful.